everybody. It's Annie. Today, I wanted to first share with you one of my very favorite quotes. It's from Viktor Frankl from the book Man's Search for Meaning. And it goes like this: between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Okay, so that quote is everything in leadership. That space between stimulus and response, that's the space that we call self-leadership. That's the place where we get to choose how we respond. And what I mean by that is that in that space, when we have a stimulus, right? When we have a trigger, I might use that word instead of stimulus, even when we have a trigger, we are hardwired to automatically react, automatically as humans to actually be able to do what we want to do, what's going to be most effective. Especially in business, we need to not react. We need to be able in that moment to not do the natural hardwired thing, but to actually pause, right? Kind of pause in our mind and be able to choose, be able to slow down, regulate our emotions so they aren't driving what we do next. They aren't driving what we say next. They aren't driving the eye rolls or the look on our face of, of maybe fear or anger or whatnot. So we need that space so that we can actually do productive things and have productive relationships with other people. And in business, that's everything. Because unless you want to be a solopreneur, a true solopreneur, really, working only with yourself, you are at some point as a business leader or an entrepreneur going to be working with quite a lot of other people. If you want to have a business that, gives you the impact in the world that you want, that is highly financially rewarding, that grows and it gives you the lifestyle freedom that you'd like. As humans, we need to get better and better at how we interact with other people. Especially team members, right? Okay. So here's the thing. As leaders, both entrepreneurs and leaders of other people, we often don't really take into account our impact on other people. Humans, we do go into self-protection. We do things, again, like I said earlier, we're hardwired to do things like blame, judge, criticize, maybe hide, deny, defend, justify, resist. We are hardwired to do all of these kinds of behaviors that are destructive to business relationships. They're destructive. And I think that as humans, we kind of have this feeling of like, well, they're not that big a deal. Like when we fall into those self-protective behaviors, we're thinking, I just had a moment. I just had to blow off some steam. Okay. I want you to think about this differently. And I'm going to use a metaphor that I think is a powerful one that you won't forget. So here's how I see it. As humans, we have we have kind of like a reactive skunk inside each of us. And I will share that when I was younger, for sure, my skunk was easily spooked. and and whenever my skunk got triggered or spooked, I would spray the people around me. Okay. And this spray is things like blame, lots of defensiveness, avoiding, pleasing, all of those kinds of behaviors that, again, were my reactive behaviors. They were my behaviors that I did without that space. So here's the thing. When I would spray all those behaviors, if any of you have ever had a dog that was sprayed by a skunk or a cat, that stuff is so sticky. It's horrible. The smell makes you want to vomit. It's so bad. And I'm pretty sure that skunks can't smell their own spray. I couldn't really smell mine. So that we tend to think that, like, well, why don't people just get over it? Why, I just had a moment. Like, I apologize. It's no big deal. And the thing is that for the human on the other side, no, it's like getting sprayed by a skunk, especially if the relationship is quite intimate, and especially if there's a high level of interdependency, right? So when a leader sprays a team member, that team member is impacted so much more than the leader realizes. Like, it stays there. That sticky smell stays there, and it takes people a while to get rid of it, to recover. So certainly, I don't want for all leaders to be running around trying to clean up a skunk spray. It doesn't work. I've bought so many things to clean up our dogs. I promise you, it doesn't really work. We had a dog that had to be outside a lot because she got sprayed all the time, and it is the same with people in that the more you spray, the less you can get rid of the less people can get rid of the smell on them. Okay, they just, after a while, they just can't take it. So we want you to not spray. This is a big skill for leaders, for entrepreneurs, really for anybody that wants to achieve success in their lives that's going to rely on working with a lot of people. So we've got to have you not spray. And what that means is that when you feel the urge, when you're about to spray, one, that you can recognize, oh shit, I feel like, saying something not good right now. I feel like blaming someone. I feel like rolling my eyes. At that moment, to be able to pause. Heather on our team calls it the power of the pause. It's the most powerful, essential skill you could ever have. And we need it because once we can have you pause, then you have the chance to regulate your emotions, to choose something different. This is so essential. It's, it's like we're human. Certainly we are going to make mistakes. Sometimes people ask me, hey, aren't there occasions where we should blame other people, where the situation is so bad that we should definitely just let it fly? And no, there isn't. There really isn't. Are we human and will we make a mistake sometimes? Yes. And I kind of feel like what you're aiming for is maybe you make a mistake once a year. If it's a really stressful, terrible time, maybe once a quarter. But this is not the kind of thing of where you can be blaming team and cleaning it up, every week or every other week. You'll lose your team because at some point people can't take the smell on them. They can't overcome it. So that's what I really want you to know, and that you absolutely can learn to pause. It's essential, and you can do it. And of course, we're so here to help. That's what I wanted to share for today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. To learn more about this episode's topic, pick up a copy of my book, The People Part, at your favorite book retailer or at anniehymanpratt.com.